Hey everyone, welcome back to an Avatar-tastic episode of Empire Radio. I'm Jeremiah,
I'm Drew.
and we are back with a YouTube exclusive. So thank you for coming over here if you're only listening to our podcast audio versions, or if you're just randomly finding us on YouTube. But yes, normally we are a podcast that's on Spotify and all that fun stuff.
But not tonight.
But not tonight.
Tonight we are a YouTube exclusive. So if you guys, like Jeremiah said, if you're finding us over here on YouTube, you need to catch up a lot because unless you're just into Avatar, well then welcome, and you should just subscribe anyways and hit that thumbs up button.
But if you like Avatar, the first season of the animated one,
true.
a lot
Then
of
you
those
like Dave
episodes,
Filoni.
you like Dave Filoni, so you might as well just watch Star Wars too. So
Correct.
But
And we are here to help you with that. So subscribe over here or go to any of other platforms. All the links are down below. So
yep. But we here at Empire Radio love the OG Avatar series.
yes.
And for me, it's probably a top 10 show of all time, the OG one. But we always reference it when we talk about Star Wars for some reason. I don't know why. We always talk
Dave Filoni.
Dave Filoni, but
Airbender is pretty much the Force.
Kind of, yeah. They're kind of like elemental Jedi.
Yeah. So,
but
there's some ties, loose ties, but they're there, and I think it's a really good story, and like we kind of keep, or we're probably gonna say a lot tonight. Like the animation, Dave Filoni had a lot of influence with the Clone Wars, so like it kind of feels like it works together. I don't know. That's why we always mention it.
Yeah, but yeah. So normally, like we just do for our Star Wars, we do like episode breakdowns, scene by scene. We do trailer stuff. We just do a lot of random fun stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But once in a while, we want to do these YouTube exclusives just because there's other things that we like, and hopefully we can reach a bigger audience with just a few of these YouTube exclusives. So, but we might as well just jump into it. So we were highly anticipated show. Like this is super highly anticipated because so many people love the OG Avatar. I was hyped for it.
Yes.
I was expecting there to be differences, obviously, because that's just the nature of the business. Like you have to change things to make it work better in live action and go from 20 episodes, whatever it was, down to like 8 episodes and all that stuff. So I was hyped for it, but not knowing what exactly to expect. But Drew, what were your overall thoughts of this season 1 adaptation in live action?
So the first 2 episodes I loved.
Yeah.
I really liked it. And then there's like episode 3 was like, it was okay. There's times in this compared to, like, if I'm comparing it to the cartoon, there's times in it like it's kind of moving quick in certain parts and slow in parts that I wish were quicker. If that makes any sense. Like I feel like people learn things faster than they did in the show, and then people, I don't know, like there's just like some weird like storytelling that they went with it, and I feel like it could have done a little bit better, and I think that might be why because if you guys don't know, the original people that helped produce the animation cartoon, they were involved in the start of this, and they dipped.
Did they leave or did they get fired?
I don't know the answer to that.
Because I remember that they were originally part of it and then they stopped being part, but I don't know the exact reason why.
I heard that they left, but maybe they got let go.
I don't know.
Typically, we do this podcast live on Twitch, twitch.tv/Empire Radio. And we have mods and chat to look up stuff. So if we're a little slower tonight, it's not.
Yeah.
That's just because Jeremiah's typing.
I'm just kind of looking up.
But I feel like they just walked out. Because from what I heard, like they didn't like, because in the original show, Aang had a lot of like dreams, and like plans to do certain things, and this one he kind of got visions, and like they didn't really enjoy
So
that.
I'm reading here that the original creators, they departed due to creative differences.
Hmm.
So it seems like it was they chose to leave, which
Yeah.
is understandable because when you create such a great show and then other people involved with it and the adaptation are wanting to make changes, it can be frustrating. Like I get that. Like
Well, and didn't they leave the spin-off show too? Weren't they involved with like the first season, and then after that they left too?
of Korra,
Yeah.
I have no idea. I have no idea. I never looked into that.
But yeah, I don't know. Overall, I actually liked it. The only big complaint I had, and it's a kind of a big complaint, I would say maybe, is Aang. They could have picked a better actor. I I,
Yeah,
I thought
I
there were scenes where he was super stiff and like Sokka, like I liked him. I thought he was fine. He wasn't as funny and like ditzy as the
all right.
animation, but I feel like sometimes if you do that, it comes across like a bad actor almost. So I think the way they went with him, I thought they did really well because if you guys didn't watch the live action like One Piece adaptation, it's kind of similar where like the main character just didn't fit to the main character in the animation because the animation guy was like super crazy and psycho, like just not that Aang is psycho, but he's just a little like I don't know how to describe it. Like he's just like a little like free living. And in this
Well,
show,
in the original, because he's a 12-year-old kid and he's a kid.
yeah. And in this show they casted a young kid, but I feel like he was just depressed too much for me in this show. Like,
No, I get what you mean. That there were times when I thought he did some really good acting, but then other times it was kind of very like I don't know, not like monotone, but like very like straightforward saying his lines.
yeah, like almost like he was reading it.
Yeah, kind of because there was times when like I was really annoyed by like he was always like having like this monologue kind of like a thing where he just kind of like zoomed up on his face and he's like, I gotta be the avatar, I gotta do what's right. And it's just like
Yeah.
same like there wasn't really
Anytime that he had a long conversation and it was just him, I was like, oh, this is bad. But like the I really enjoyed the fighting and like especially the first episode when you got the story about how the war started and how they actually like killed
yeah.
the airbenders. Like in the animation they kind of show it like a flashback because like
Yeah, kind of. Well, I don't
it's like a
know.
little we don't actually see.
We just hear about it. I don't think
Yeah,
we see any flashbacks because Aang was never there. So like there wasn't anyone to have a flashback.
I thought we did when he visited and realized they're all dead, and we kind of got like a. We never got that story though. Like
Right.
the main, like they like threw off, and everyone thought they were attacking like the Earth Kingdom, and then they're actually attacking like that whole scene in the beginning. I thought was really well done,
Right.
and like I was like, when I turned it on and I saw the first time in the firebend and like these people are getting burned, I was like, this is dark. Like, are we, what is this? Like, this is way darker than thought it was going to be, considering the cartoons is like animation. Like, it's not really the same.
Right.
So, like, I really like the choreographs. I've seen people complain like earth bending's too stiff or the water bending doesn't seem good. I had no complaints about that. Like, I don't know. I enjoyed it. I literally finished it 10 minutes ago from the time
that's
of this recording. I
that's why
finished the
you're
last
10 minutes
episode.
late.
That's why I was 10 minutes late to this recording. I messaged Jeremiah on Discord. I'm like, hey, I'm gonna be 10 minutes late because I looked and I was like, yep, 10 minutes. So I just finished it and I thought the ending was really good. I really enjoyed it. Like I can see why the creators were a little disappointed, like the route they're going, because they had to cut things to make it feel better and fit to a show, 8 episode arc, and they had to finish a whole season in 8 episodes. Which I
Right.
don't even season one. How many
It
episodes
was
did I have?
20 episodes, I believe.
Yeah, So like they had to cut like 2 hours out of the show essentially, roughly.
Yeah.
So like I don't know, like, and I think um what's it,
Zuko, Prince
Zuko,
Zuko.
I think he was a amazing pick. I really liked him. I thought his acting was really good. There was never a time where I'm like, oh, this guy's like stiff or like corny. Like I really liked his acting, and like he played that character really well. I mean, the only thing is like he looks a little thicker than he did in the
Yeah,
animation.
him and Azula,
Yeah,
because in the anime they have like more narrow
they're really
faces
like
and like
fit
pointy
looking
things,
too, and like
but like in
skinnier.
here they have very round faces,
Yeah.
which it is what it is. Like at
And do you
least they
know who
match the sibling.
Azula is?
Yes,
You know who she dates in real
yeah.
life?
I was gonna
Okay.
bring that up tonight.
Yeah.
She dates the guy that plays Dustin in Stranger Things, which is kind
Yes.
of
So
funny.
that's probably. I'm not gonna say that's why he
Stranger
got the
Things, that's another
role, but
show that we
Stranger
love.
Things, yes.
When that final season comes out, we're doing a
We'll probably gonna do a YouTube exclusive on that. And if you guys want like full breakdowns, maybe we'll go back and kind of
this
do
favorite show of all time is
rewatch
Stranger
season
Things.
one, rewatch season
I'll be
two.
when they announce like a release date for season 5. I'm gonna start
We
rewatching
should
the
do
whole
that, Jeremiah. YouTube exclusive. We'll go through all the seasons on YouTube,
season by
like
season.
season by season.
Dude, oh,
I already
man,
know which my favorite, but I do kind of want to watch them all
dude,
again.
it's gonna be so hard to beat season 4, dude.
It's gonna
I
be
know.
so hard to beat season one for me, dude.
Season 1, dude.
I love season one. That first, I don't want to get into this, but those are good kids. Like that's
Yeah,
like my complaints. Like they, it's not that there's not kids out there that can act, because there's no one on that cast, maybe Will, but no one on that cast that wasn't like just an amazing actor. And
right.
this one, I'm
Yeah,
like,
because
why?
even now,
Like,
like they still cast older kids, like
yeah.
because I didn't even look up. I could probably um, look,
How old
but
is the Avatar? He has to be like that age, like 12 or 10.
so Aang's actor is currently 14. So I guess it makes sense because he's supposed to be 12 in the show.
And he
So
might have been 12 when they started this project.
maybe. So that fits. Katara is currently 17, but her birthday's next month. So she's supposed to be the same age as Aang, I think.
Which I didn't mind her. People complain about her acting too. Like there was times where I was like, but it wasn't like Aang. Aang, like there's times where it literally took me out of the show.
And then Sokka's character,
He was probably in his
he's
20s, right?
he's 20. It was on Wikipedia, it says 20 or 21. He doesn't have like a publicized date or birthday. So
Hmm.
but he's supposed to be 16. So he's
Yeah.
like way older than he
Hmm.
should be, but it's whatever.
And I wonder if they picked Aang to be the exact age because the height. Because they needed Aang to be smaller than.
Oh yeah. But
Because in the
like
show, he
but
is
by the
the
time he
shorter
gets to
one.
season 3, he's going to be like 20,
True.
which is going to be really weird because it's only the original show, all 3 seasons takes place like in like
In 2
less than a
years.
year. No, less than a year.
Oh, shoot.
It's like 8 months or something like
So
that.
why do you think people are saying that Katara learned waterbending fast?
Well, so I rewatched season 1 before I watched this,
Hmm.
and she barely does any water bending in the first season,
Okay.
which was kind of weird because like she barely did anything, but then when she fights Master Paku in the animated show at the very end, like she's super like good.
Yeah.
Like here, she's actually learning stuff as she goes, and she's getting better, and like which I think is a step up. That's one of the best things I think of this season was making Katara learning
Yeah, that's why
waterbending.
like because I remember like but she did battle him in the original. Like I remember that from the
Yeah,
animation. So like people were saying she learned it too quick. I'm like,
she
to
learned it too
what
quick in the
though?
original.
Yeah, I feel like in the
Here,
original she
it makes
learned it.
more sense that she's just naturally gifted and
And she was
um,
actually like doing it properly.
right. And in this series, when she meets Jet, like
Mm-hmm.
he like teaches her to like embrace her,
Inner demons, essentially.
like yeah, like use like her emotions and stuff to do it to her.
Mm-hmm.
Like that kind of like gave her a strength, but
Adapt into the dark side a little bit.
something like that.
Yeah, I don't know. Overall, I enjoyed it. I thought it was fine.
Now, what do you think
Um,
of Uncle Iroh?
I liked him.
You know who that was, right?
I don't.
That's Carson Teva from.
Oh yeah, it is.
You didn't know that?
I didn't realize that. I think I remember hearing about that, but yeah, he was amazing. I thought he played that character perfectly. Like he was funny. He made like stupid jokes about the meat. Like I need to try their barbecue, or I have my tea. Like like how Uncle Ira was, but then he was serious, and then like the acting when he like cried in certain scenes too. Like I thought he did really good, and like I think the difference between like the animation and this show is that Zuko's like relationship with his uncle is actually even more prominent in the show than I
Right,
feel like in the animation. It wasn't there yet. In
right,
season 1, like they didn't develop that love relationship quite yet.
right,
Like, but you kind of already see that it's coming. Like you feel like it's already there way quicker in the live action.
right,
So like, and I was okay with that choice. I didn't think it ruined the show.
right.
Or what do you think? Do you hate it?
I don't hate it. I think
Mm.
there's things that they did very, very well, and I think there's things that they did that was very terrible. um,
Okay.
so like, I'm trying to think like because there's a lot I could say. So like, well, the main thing that I just didn't like at all were episodes 3 and 4 because they
Yeah, I
took
think that's like
6 different episodes and blended them into like a 2 episode arc, and
yeah.
I didn't like that at all because it like I saw what they're like trying to do, but it just didn't fit for me. It seemed clunky to me.
Mhm.
Um, like I'm
I think that's what everyone's opinion is. Like those are the weakest
because
episodes
like
for
I
sure.
think it's just like they're trying to do too much,
Mhm.
but like some of those scenes that like episodes that they combine were like some everyone's favorite episodes,
Mhm.
and it kind of like messed with it a little, messed with the flow and like the meaning of those episodes and stuff. So, um, like for me, I was like when I got done with episode 4, I was like, I really don't like where this show is going. Um, but I would say that the last 4 episodes it got better and better for me. Like I
Yeah.
thought I started to get really, really good. Um, and so like I'm happy with what they how they ended it, I guess. But those 2 episodes, I
Yeah,
hated.
and I wonder if that's like where when like they decided to leave
I think it was stuff like that because like
because
they took stuff from season 2 and put it in that arc, and so like
oh yeah, like
the Tunnel of Love thing is from season 2,
that's what
and
I thought. I was like kind
they
of
changed it
confused.
because the Tunnel of Love was um, Aang and Katara,
Yes.
and then this one they did Sokka and Katara,
Mhm.
and like brother sister love. So like sure, it still matters, like it means, but it's just like they just took that thing and just threw it in there just because they didn't want to do it in season 2 or something.
Yeah, that's kind of weird.
Um, and then what was else? There was something else from that from season 2 from that they took.
So that whole like face thing was from season 2?
No, that's from season 1. The face
Okay.
stealer, Ko,
Yeah,
because
that's what I thought. Okay, so but then because I remember
because
watching that as a kid, I thought that was so scary.
because in season it's in the season 1 finale where Ko knows the identity, like who the moon and ocean spirits like physical form is. So Aang has to
Mm.
go there to find out that they're the fish.
Mhm.
And so this time they just did it to whatever they kind of just do. I don't know really. So like there was that whole like spirit realm thing was a whole new thing that they changed, which is fine, I guess. It wasn't really a big deal to me. Um, but it was just
So
weird trying to like.
like Sokka didn't know that she was the moon spirit at all. Like I've seen the show, but it's been so long.
Well, you should have rewatched it, bro.
I know
So,
I
so
should,
like, well, he finds
but then
out
I'd probably be more mad.
he knows at the end of both that she was saved by the moon spirit when
But
she was
because
born.
but he did he recognize her in the animation? Because in
That
this one,
they never went.
oh, they never went.
Katara and Sokka never went to the spirit realm with Aang. This is an addition. So like there was the one episode where Sokka was taken to the spirit realm in a different episode,
Mm,
and then Aang has to go there to rescue him with like other people from that village. So like they did it like that where they took the same
concept and then
concept, but
changed it
they put the three of them in the spirit realm,
because it made it more like he had to go there to save.
something like that. But I don't know, like that. That's like a liberty that they change. That like I'm fine with because it's the same result.
Yeah,
Um, but um,
yeah,
yeah. So same
for sure.
comments.
Before season 2 comes out, I have to watch season 2.
Yeah, and so like, I agree with you about Aang. Like the actor was okay, but
Hmm.
he looked like a good cast for
No, he
Aang.
looked good.
Perfect casting. I'm going to tell you this. I don't know if my uh, nephew Josiah is watching, but this actor looked exactly like my nephew Josiah when he was that same age. It has the same expression, same smile, same eyes, same like. I was like the whole time I'm thinking, why is my nephew the
That's
Avatar?
funny.
So that's my
He probably
nephew,
could have done better.
and it's funny because I have my buzz cut hair.
Hmm.
I got when I like when he was growing up, I was like, dude, you gotta like buzz your head like me, and he always wanted to do it, but my sister would never let him. But I feel like if he
Oh,
did shave his head when he was a kid, it would look almost exactly like Aang
that's funny.
when he was a kid. Which so it was funny. The whole time watching the show, I'm like seeing my nephew Josiah. Um, I like Katara. Like I like how they made her teach or sorry, learn a lot more
Hmm.
bending during the show. Like I thought that was a major step up for Katara's character because she's like one of my favorite from the show. So
Hmm.
um, like her doing that. The one thing that I didn't like that I hoped that they would have improved upon was that Aang was going to learn water bending with Katara because she made that like in episode 2 when they're on Kyoshi Island. Like they're
Hmm.
like, yeah, we can learn together. Like I'll teach you, we'll teach each other. Like we'll like it, but like we didn't see that in this show.
He didn't even try.
Right, and so, but in the animated one, he does learn how to move water a little bit. So
Gotcha.
I was like, okay, cool. He's gonna like learn a lot more water bending in live action because like she promised it, like, hey, we can train
Yeah.
together, and they never did that, which was kind of
So does he learn in the animation? He learns water bending and earth bending at the same time,
basically.
or is it like earth bending first, then water?
No, I think I gotta. I'm gonna watch season 2 again soon, but it's during the same time, basically.
Because
Katara,
I used to have the DVD, or I still probably have the DVD set. So it was like the first one's like blue because it's like water bending. The second one's earth, and
yeah,
then the last one's fire.
right. So I don't know. I was kind of disappointed that he didn't learn some water bending,
Yeah.
but it's whatever. Um, as far as Sokka, like I think that they did a very good job like casting him. He kind of looks exactly like Sokka.
Hmm.
I think
The football head.
he gets the like he was able to portray like his personality a lot.
Hmm.
Um, but like going into this show, like I knew a thing that they changed about Sokka's character that I thought was a major issue that they did. So like in season, so there's the whole series in the animated series, he's kind of like this sexist boy that he learns to like become like a man and becomes like more respectable and like all this stuff.
Mhm.
But he was like literally like the first scene in the animated show, Katara accuses him of being sexist because he makes a jab at women can't do whatever.
Yep. Yeah.
But it's like that's part of his story arc originally is like growing up and not being the sexist kid. But they didn't have that in here.
Like he was already like kind of grown up in here, and he
Right,
respected his sister like right off the bat.
right. I felt like maybe there was like a little bit of like jabs at his sister for being a girl, but like it wasn't really like anything more
No.
than just teasing like a brother does. But like
Yeah.
I was like, what are they gonna do with his story arc then? Because he has an amazing story arc in the animated one, but here like he doesn't have that obstacle
Uh-uh.
to like grow past. And so like
Because the waterbender, the master, he had that.
yeah, so that was the same that they kept, which was weird that they but like the thing that changed because in the original, so like her necklace that she has,
Mhm.
she got that necklace from her grandma,
Mhm.
but her grandma got that necklace from Master Paku when she used to live at the Northern Water Temple.
Yes.
And she ran away because she didn't like the traditions, the sexist traditions or whatever.
Yeah.
And so, like, when he sees Katara with the necklace in original, like, that was my former fiance or whatever, but she ran
Yeah.
away because, and she, like, Katara uses that, be like, well,
Mhm.
if you love my grandma so much because, and she ran away from these things, like that was something that caused him to like reconsider that women could be waterbenders.
Mhm.
But here it was just basically, I got my butt whooped by a girl, and now what am I supposed to say?
Yeah.
I guess you're in. Like I don't know. It was kind of weird.
It worked though, but
Yeah. Um, but like that's the thing that like I like the major change that they made with like the character development was like in the original series, characters had like innate flaws in themselves, like Sokka being sexist, and they had to like overcome these innate flaws. And this is
yeah.
like through a lot of characters. But in this series, they take those like flaws from people and replace it with like trauma that they have to overcome, which sure, it's a thing. Like people have bad crap that they go through and they have to learn to overcome it. It's like a real life thing. But like I don't really think it really worked because it
Mhm.
seems so forced. And the main thing that like the big one that they changed about that was Aang's story because Aang originally ran away, and that's why he wasn't there when the air temple got attacked.
Yeah.
But here he was just
Flying.
flying around because he was just like had the weight of like being just told that he's the avatar, and then he is kind of he runs away, but he's not like running away. He's just kind of like going for a walk basically, but he's just riding
And
Appa.
they just got into a bad storm essentially.
And so like his like the original story, he was very much coming to grips with the fact that he's the avatar and he can't run away from it anymore because he has to fight Fire Lord Ozai eventually.
And this one, it's all about guilt. He
Guilt,
just
like
feels crappy about it.
yeah, that
And
he wasn't there.
like I don't know about you, but there wasn't a moment in the show, which I think is a negative for me. There wasn't really a moment in the show that I was laughing.
Oh yes,
Like
I
in
think
the
there was for me,
animation,
but I don't remember. But you're right.
there were so many times that you were laughing in the animation. And I think a lot of that had to do with like Aang's character wasn't really a funny character. And even when he like laughed, like when he said a joke or they're laughing, or like when Momo did something and he laughed, he was just like ha 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 ha. Like it seemed fake. It just seemed like you're acting. I was just like, buddy.
Right.
So like that was like a negative towards me
Well,
for the show.
I expected it to be less funny just because of the nature of
When they didn't they say that they wanted to make it more dark.
They might have. They want to make it more serious, but like I get
And
it
it definitely
because
was.
the original series was TV 7 or Y7 or whatever
Yeah,
it is,
Y7, yeah.
and this one I guess is PG. So I guess it's a little bit more mature, but I think they could have, if they were gonna go a little darker, they could have gone more dark than they did. Because it seemed like they were kind of like a foot in two different circles for me.
Yeah, cuz like I think they're trying to figure out like the current kids that are watching this show. They wanted them. But then the people that grew up watching the show are our age.
Right.
So like they kind of wanted to make it more intense and like more like kung fu fighting, like, which I think that stuff, like especially the firebending, like with the kicks and when they're like doing flips and stuff and fires coming out of their feet and stuff. I think that was really well done.
Yeah, I heard someone say um, that they really liked that the bending in this show really portrayed that it's a martial art, not a
Yes,
superpower,
correct.
which I think is a really interesting point and is what they did very well. Is it's a martial art, not a superpower.
Hmm.
So I
Like
like that.
it really felt like you were they were learning moves, like it wasn't just like they were learning how to like control an element. It was like they all used a different fighting style to get these moves out, which
Right.
I thought was really cool. And like I think that part like really went a long way for me in the show and like it. Hands down though, this makes a live action Avatar movie just still the worst thing I've ever seen in life. By far. So
I
at
don't know. I
least
only
I
saw
was
that
so
once, and that was a long time ago. And I remember it like, see, like I've said this before, like on the podcast before that um, I saw the live action movie before I
before.
watched the animated, and I
Mhm.
didn't think it was bad. Now, obviously, in hindsight, seeing scenes over again from the
Should watch it
movie,
again.
I know that it's not that good. But I will say something, and I've said it before, also that I like how they ended the live action movie when
I don't even
Aang entered.
remember it.
So, like in the animated one and in this live action adaptation, he he merges his body with the
Ocean.
ocean spirit, and he becomes this giant ocean fish thing. But in the live action movie, like he just goes into the avatar state and he's like on the outer like ridge like looking out at the ocean, and he goes into the avatar state and he does like all these
Mhm.
like martial art moves, and he like takes all this huge giant like wave that's like a mile away and like curves it over the ships, and like they get scared and they run away. Like I thought that's more like what an avatar would do.
Mhm.
And so like I really liked that, and it looked really cool, and it seemed more like in line with how we saw other times he entered the Avatar state, where he didn't like all the other times he didn't become a giant fish. Like so like
Yeah.
becoming a giant fish just is weird to me. But I do think that the fish thing in this series they did it better than the animated one.
Yes. I agree with that
There's
too.
that. Um, but
Yeah.
yeah. So now as far as Prince Zuko, I have mixed feelings. Like
Really?
I think so. Like they added a backstory that I don't think we got in the original. Now, I guess I only rewatched the first season, so I have to like see if they did more of this. But in this one, they show how the the soldiers that he's assigned with are the
I think that
soldiers
was
that
added.
they were the soldiers that he spoke up for to defend because they were going to be sent to slaughter. So like I
Mhm.
like that they added that story, and then how when the soldiers learned that they're like, all right, we're on Prince Team Zuko. Like we're faithful to him because he saved our lives. We're gonna do what we can to serve him. So like I think that is great. I really like that. Um,
Mhm.
but like I'm really conflicted about like the actors' portrayal. Not like they did bad, but like there's a there's something different about the cartoon and the live action that's slightly different, and I can't put my thumb on like
Mm.
what the internal struggle is. Um, but like, I
You
feel
sure it's
like
not just his face?
no, it's not just his face, but I feel like he was too honest with his inner pain. Like he was too public, willingly talking about it with Uncle Iroh.
Well, yeah, I
That
think
I don't think that
yeah,
came out till in later seasons. So it's like
yeah, it
weird that
didn't
like
for sure.
he's like openly expressing his feelings of his struggle and pain like so early in a story. And but then he's like also like just like angry,
Hmm.
and it just seemed like it was just kind of like two different like I don't know,
Well,
like I don't know, it was
and
weird to me.
that's kind of what I said was like the uncle and his relationship. We knew about it way quicker than we did in the show.
Yeah. Oh, that's what they changed, or what the other episode that they brought in for that 2 episode arc,
Uh huh.
which I hated. This was actually this is the thing I hated most about the whole season was they ruined the Uncle Iroh and his son story
Mm.
because like the original, like they did this great thing where he's they don't know what are they in Bossing say or whatever, and he's
Hmm.
just doing all these nice things to people for people, and he goes and at the very end he goes to a tree at a sunset and he puts up a picture of his son and he's singing this song
Oh yeah.
like young soldier boy come home or whatever it is, and like it's the saddest scene in all of like storytelling. Everyone who
Hmm.
sees it starts crying, and like that's like such a like everyone's favorite scene from the original,
Hmm.
and they just like glossed over it with like a funeral scene, and they played like the music in the background, like
Hmm.
the melody, and I was so upset that they ruined that scene. Like that was like of all the scenes that they needed to like nail and like stay faithful to, it should have been that one. But they
Hmm.
just deviated from so much. It just lost the meaning because they put the focus on Prince Zuko being there for his uncle
Yep.
rather than showing a scene where just the uncle was grieving his son on like his birthday or whatever it was.
Yeah.
So like
Y-
I didn't like that at all.
Yeah, I think that was like the difference. A main difference was those two relationship in the show was it was quicker because in the animation it took a while before you realize that well one that like uncle is so ba like you don't really realize that until like way later on in the show
Right.
and then like you don't I don't do we even know that he was like the dragon
Dragon
whatever
of the West or whatever. So I think he's just that's stated, but like we don't
is it
see anything. Um,
because I think it's kind of stated in this one too isn't it
yeah, they said a couple times from the when he was captured by the
earth
Earth Nation or
well
whatever.
and they said it or that one guy said it at the end that he was gonna have Uncle Iroh on his side.
Right.
But
Yeah.
but yeah, like those two relationship, yeah, it's completely different because like the whole first season, I remember this as like in the animation, Zuko was annoyed of his uncle.
Yeah.
Like he was just annoying to him. He didn't like listen to anything he said. He was just like, shut up. Like you literally like were gifted to me. Like you were like a babysitter essentially.
Right.
Like you're annoying. I'm not trusting you. I'm not answering you. And this one, like you get kind of get in the beginning ish first couple episodes, and then like after that, you like there's a relationship there, like pretty quickly, and like there's respect there,
Right.
which like I'm okay. I like it. It's okay. Like it didn't ruin it for me because honestly, those two were the best actors in this entire show for me. And so, like, it didn't like it didn't ruin the show for me, but I do understand that from your perspective, Jeremiah, where it's like there's certain things that they developed throughout the whole series with these two, and they're kind of jumping the
Right.
gun a little bit.
Right. And so it's like in the original, you're looking forward to like the conclusion, where here
Hmm.
you're just kind of given it.
Yeah, you kind of
which
get it earlier than you
and so
expect.
it's not really a big payoff that you were waiting for. So it is what it is.
Yeah.
Um, so like I don't maybe because they did that for a reason. Like they want to in the next two seasons to like be more focused on other things, where they don't have to like put as much time into that. But like I don't know because I feel like season two is going to be season two in the original is weird because it has all that weird like bossing say like secret society like they're controlling like all these brainwashing people and like
Hmm.
all that weird creepy stuff. So I feel like because that's in season two and they're gonna do that also in live action, that they're
Hmm.
gonna focus on doing that stuff well and
Hopefully.
not doing side stories.
Do you think that we're gonna get what's her name is in season 2, right?
Toph,
Yeah.
yeah, we get introduced to Toph in season two, so she'll definitely be there. They gotta nail Toph.
They
Everyone,
have to.
dude,
That's a lot of pressure. They got to
dude,
find someone that
you
does
just
really well.
and like you can't like with Sokka, like in the original, he's that goofy kid that has to grow up. But like Toph, she's also like super sarcastic and funny
But it's
and
like dry humor
get,
though.
but like she's still like you can't change that because she's like the best earthbender ever and she's only like a little kid and she's blind and like
Just
she
like the
has that
Badger moles were.
and she's like that like fun she's funny and sarcastic and dry humor and stuff like you need that for her character like you can't change that
Yeah. I
and
really
like
hope too with her character they show the way she bends it. You know how like in the show they kind
oh
of
when
like
she like you see the vibration like in the like the black and white kind of
yeah.
they
I
better
really hope they do something like
but it would be
that.
hard to like portray that like
It's a challenge for sure. I really like the way they did it with the moon in the final episode. They changed. They all like there were scenes that were like straight up black and white.
they did that in the animated too they
Yeah,
lost the color but like they did it I really liked how they did it
I thought they did it really well.
yeah definitely yeah
I think the
um
final episode like fixed a lot of my like complaints. I really enjoyed the last episode. I thought it was really well done, and like a lot of that story, like I remember that like the the prince or the princess sacrificed herself, but I forgot how. Like there
yeah
was times where I'm like, I don't really remember like how is this gonna work? Like I was still kind of like, what's gonna happen? Which I like that. I like that I was still guessing how
right
this was gonna turn out. Like I knew it would, but it was, so I thought it was really well done. Like that last episode was really really good. I liked it. And I
yeah
really liked the first episode. Besides that,
yeah and so
I just kind of wish
um
we would have got a little bit more of the bison. What's his name?
oh Appa
Yeah, I feel like we barely got up on the show.
yeah he was just there to fly him around
Yeah, honestly,
not as many funny scenes
like
but
walking around in the grass.
season two is when they take Appa this Appa's stolen and they have to go find him
Y-
and he has a whole story where he's like by himself being taken and
being
we see
tortured
that
and stuff.
like yeah like
Is he the last Appa? Like the last flying bison?
well I it's portrayed that he is but like in the Legend of Korra I think they have him back again don't they
I don't remember.
I can't remember
I've only seen like the first 2 seasons of Korra.
yeah I only watched those once I don't remember much but yeah I don't know
Bloodbending though was pretty cool.
we'll get that next season hopefully if they take that
Hopefully.
out people are gonna rage quit the show
Yeah.
um
Well, do you think we're gonna, I guess my question is, do you think we're gonna get season 2 for this show?
well yeah they're not gonna cancel it
Oh.
why would they cancel it
What's the reviews right now?
they're all over the place some people love it some people hate it like it's just they put there's too much effort into this like in the fact that they have Avatar Studios now with all these other Avatar projects in work like
Oh, I didn't know any of this.
What?
No, I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, they have
That's
an
cool.
Avatar studio. Like Nickelodeon has, they like established its own separate animation studio just for Avatar. So there's going to be next year, I think it is. It's supposed to be an animated movie of Aang, Katara, Sokka as adults.
Oh
And
heck yeah!
so that's going to be, I think, supposed to be next year, like an adult Team Avatar
I
team,
want that because like Korra jumps like so
because
far.
she's the next one after Aang dies.
Yeah. So it's like
So,
I kind of like that middle ground.
which
We only really got that in flashbacks, I think, in
yeah,
Korra.
in Korra we got flashbacks of some scenes with them, which are great. But it would be
Mhm.
cool to see that team as adults.
How many
And
kids does Aang and them have?
Aang and Katara end up having,
Like
I think
three or four.
it's at least three, maybe four. I
And
can't
is
remember.
any of them airbenders?
Yes, the main guy is the main Tolzen, whatever his name is,
I don't remember.
Tetson,
Mm.
the main airbender that trains Katara. He's son, and then all of his the grandkids are
Mhm.
airbenders too. Which what's the actor's name that voices him? Um, he's like the big huge actor. He's the guy from Spider Man. Spider Man, give me the pictures. Brr, 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 brr. James,
Oh, James
what is that actor? I can never remember. J something Jameson.
James
Jane.
Jameson. I don't know. I know who you're talking about though. Oh, I didn't realize that.
So that was he was the voice actor for him, which
What season was that?
he's in all of them.
I just don't remember that in Korra.
Let's see, cast J.K. Simmons. I was way off. I was
Oh
like, no,
yeah.
I was stating the Spider-Man character's name,
Yeah.
not so. J.K. Simmons was the voice of um, um, Tenzin. That's his name. So he was really cool. Um, but yeah, so they're doing that. They're also working on um, which would be like season 3 of Avatar. So the next one is the Earthbender after Korra. Um,
Mm.
but like that's supposed to take place like modern time though, like our modern time, because Legend of Korra takes place kind of like in our like
20s.
1920s 30s era.
Yeah.
So like the next Avatar would be more of a modern time. So like that would be kind
TikTok.
of, so it would be kind of weird, like interesting, where there's like not a need for avatars or benders or anything, because everything is just going to be technology, I'm
That's
guessing.
gonna
So
be
it's going to be,
interesting.
so it'll be really hard to pull off, but if they can do it well, it'll be kind of cool.
Yeah.
um and then there's other some like other side things that they're doing too, so but those will be coming out in the next few years. So they're definitely going to be doing a season 2 of live action of this one, just because.
I hope so.
Yeah,
Just
so
because I want to see it.
right. um But what else is there to talk? So one, I kind of was disappointed by um, Commander Zhao in this live action one, just because like the characters I felt were very different. This time around, the guy was just more opportunistic,
Mm-hmm.
where he was just kind of like a random commander that
Just
got
so
the
happened to be in the right
opportunity,
place at the right time.
and then he tried to take advantage of to advance his career.
Mm-hmm.
Now that is true of in the original, but in the original he was more of like a competent commander that knew what he was doing, and he
They
was
kind
just
of made them dumb in the beginning.
right. And so like it was just two different types of portrayals, which, you know, it's a competent leader trying to sweep use Zuko to get the Avatar, whereas this one is just an opportunistic, like, I couldn't do it on my own, but I'm just gonna like be a sleazy scumbag and try and take it for me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, which it is what it is. It's fine. Like he's either way, he's dead at the end of season one, so like you don't have to
Yeah.
worry about him. So it is what it is.
Was that how
Um,
he died in season one?
season the original, he got killed by the Avatar fish, like the giant.
Oh, did he?
Here, this um, Uncle Iroh kills him.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess it makes sense. I don't know. Um, I also really liked that we got a lot of Fire Lord Ozai,
True.
which in the original, like
We never saw his face yet, right?
we saw his face. I'm trying to think. I know at the very end we see it,
Yeah.
but like I can't remember if we see his face in the scene when Zuko like interrupts in the war meeting or whatever. Like I don't
I
think
don't
we.
remember
I don't.
either.
I.
I don't-
It's so weird. Like I know the show, but like I don't like think to look for these details because it's
Yeah.
like,
I feel like
um,
we didn't because I think like the whole thing at the end was like it was a big deal to see him.
right. So I just like seeing dude Daniel Day Kim the actor.
Oh, he's amazing.
Dude, I first of all he's Jin from Lost, so he's already cool in my opinion.
Yeah.
But like he was just perfect casting for this,
Yeah.
and I can't wait to like see season 3.
Mm-hmm.
Sozin's comment, like the finale when he's just using the power of the comet to like fight Avatar Aang.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I really like that they have him throughout the series
Yeah.
doing things.
They made him a bad guy. Like they really did.
Right. And I think like because we get to see him more, we're more hyped to like see him as the villain. Whereas before he was just kind of like talked about like in the background.
Yeah.
Um,
It's a different take. It's like a scary take of like who is this dude? And then in this one it's like we see how like how crappy he is right away.
right.
So it was still
Um,
worked for me though.
yep.
I liked
And
it.
then the big like addition, or not really addition, but change, but like um, at the end of season one, in the original, we don't see Azula till the very final scene of
Oh
season
yeah.
one. Like, all right, probably, all right, I'm going to send you have to do whatever. And so here we see her throughout the series, kind of like being that sister that's kind of in the shadow or like in the background, but like trying to earn her father's approval and stuff. So I like that we. At first, I was like, whatever, this is kind of weird. But then, like, it started making more sense, and I kind of like that we actually get to see her as a coming villain
Yep.
more than we did in the original.
Because in the original I feel like she just showed up.
Yeah, because we see her in a flashback during like the Agni Kai, like she's just
Uh-huh.
sitting in the crowd or whatever, and then we see her at the very end when she's sent out. But here they
But here
show her a
we like
lot.
see also like how she was similar, like she was just being like a toy to her dad, making her
Right,
fight these people and
right. And I didn't, I did not like the casting for Ty Lee and Mai.
they're like so barely in this I didn't really pay attention to them.
Like they don't, especially
M-
Mai. Like they don't really look at all
I feel
like
like Kylie kind of does though.
Ty Lee. Maybe, but like Ty Lee Andrews, she's like super like tall and like skinny and like because she's like an acrobatic person.
Yeah.
So like,
I always thought she was shorter, not tall.
no, she was more. Maybe she's short, but like she was so like
Thin.
slender that
Yeah.
like it made her look taller. But then like mine original has a very pointy face, like chin and
Hmm.
pointy. But here, like this girl is like super round, like,
Yeah.
and so it was just kind of
Well, because I was like talking to Steph about it, and I feel like a lot of like not about those two, but about what's her name?
Katara.
Katara, how she's kind of round. And Steph's like, oh, it's just baby fat. Like she's just young and she still has like her like that's what Steph always called like her like chunky cheeks. but like she'll slim down even more as she gets older.
Maybe. I
I
don't
think
know.
she will. I think like by the time next season she'll look different because she's still like growing up in real life. You know,
You talking about Katara
Katara.
or
Yeah,
I don't know, because she's 17, so I don't know. She's whatever. I guess
because
it's
Steph's
whatever.
like because Steph had like chunky cheeks all the way up until college.
Really?
Yeah, so that's what Steph's like. Oh, this is baby fat. She doesn't look weird. Why is people complaining about it? I was like, I don't know.
I
Like
don't know.
I'm not comparing about her acting. I'm complaining about Aang's just like not he has like no expression. He's just depressed, which he was kind of in the show, but he was also really giddy and fun. He always wanted to do like stupid things. Like when he met the king, what's his name?
Boomy.
Goomy. I feel like they did
Boomy.
Goomy kind of dirty.
They. I don't know.
Like
I don't
Goomy's character was so
Boom. It's a
cool.
B. Boomy,
Boomy, sorry.
not Goomy.
Not Goomy, Boomy. I feel like in the show he was really cool, and like the whole time he was teasing, and then Aang didn't realize it was him until like all of a sudden he realized it was him. You know,
Yeah.
like I feel like in this one they knew right away. Which I didn't really like that.
Yeah. It was right away. He was like, "Oh yeah, you're Boomy." Blah blah blah. But like, because like in the original, when Aang has to do all these like tests,
Mm-hmm.
like Katara and Sokka have like the growing crystal rings put on them, and like he's like, you have to like
Oh yeah,
pass
or
all
they'll
these tests, or they're gonna get consumed by these crystals and they're gonna die.
yes,
I mean, here they're not even there. They're just doing a tunnel of love, trying to sneak into the castle.
Castle.
So it's
Yeah,
like there's
yeah.
no
I like
like
the
test.
original a
There's
little
no
bit
test
more.
for Aang there, like to have like to get through these
No.
trials. And I didn't like think this when I was in the original, but like here in the live action, they portray like this city Omatsu is Omatsu, how do they say it? I gotta click on this. Yeah, Omatsu. Like here they made it like East Indian. Like the characters were like it was like more Indian culture from India. So like I thought that was like kind of a cool change that they made.
Yeah,
Which because I didn't really pick that up on. Oh, what'd you think of Cabbage Guy?
it was perfect.
You know it's the
Perfect.
same voice actor, right?
Is it?
Yeah,
That's
they
awesome.
took the same guy.
That's awesome. I think I wanted more of them, even though we couldn't really at this
Well,
point.
I'm
But
sure every season we'll get him a
oh
few
yeah,
times. So
yeah.
that's
No,
fine.
I thought it was perfect. My cabbages. Yeah, they did him pretty well.
Yeah.
You know, you can
Um,
like on Netflix, you can like change your profile photo.
yeah.
He's one of the profile photos you
Is
can
he?
pick. Yeah,
Oh, I don't know. That's
I
funny.
think I'm gonna switch stuffs to that guy.
That's funny.
Yeah.
What else is there to talk about? There was something. Oh, I like how they. At first, I didn't like it, but then by the end, I kind of liked it how they Aang talked to three separate avatars,
Hmm.
and they each had a lesson for him, and they all had
Yeah.
their own like unique whatever. Like I, because in the original, we only see that once with um, Roku when he goes into the temple and like he has to like talk to Roku, whatever, to figure out like what the issue is, like what's the problem. Like I gotta figure out what this comet thing is, or whatever. And then because in this one on uh, Kyoshi Island, he Aang becomes Kyoshi's avatar, and she shows up. Or in the original, when he goes to speak to Roku, Roku manifests himself through Aang and then fights the
Yeah.
firebenders. Um, so I was like sad that we didn't get to see Roku fight because that's one of my favorite scenes from the original.
Hmm.
But seeing Kyoshi show up, that was kind of cool.
Yeah, that was really cool.
And then but they added the water avatar scenes in this one. Like we didn't see him ever before. So it was cool, like to learn from him and how like he can't use the avatar state because his body was corrupted when he was fighting all these spirits and stuff. I
Yeah,
thought that was cool. That
I
like
liked it.
they portrayed these 3 different avatars very differently, and Aang has to be his own. He can't rely on them,
Yep.
which I thought was cool. I think that's kind of the main thing that I can just all the things that I can remember. So I'm just excited for season 2. As long as they don't screw up Toph,
Yes.
like I'm just gonna be so mad if they screw
And
up
then mess up
Toph.
Toph. I think everyone would be.
And they I think that they have to go all. They just have to cast a 10-year-old Asian girl and then put her eyes blind. Put contacts in and make her eyes blind, and I'll be fine. Just do that. I don't need a 16-year-old, 18-year-old actress playing a 10-year-old girl. Like, I think they gotta just keep her faithful, and then everybody will be happy.
Yeah. I think the same, like, as long as her face isn't like Aang's, there's no emotion.
I saw recently like a fan film of Toph, like a live action. Like they had like a little 10-year-old girl fight these big guys, like doing rock like earth bending and stuff. It was really cool. I'm like, if fans can do something like that and looks really cool,
Yeah.
Netflix has to be able
I
to.
wonder, like, if they actually casted a 10-year-old actor who is actually blind, I wonder if that would help.
Oh, probably. Like, I think that would be cool that they
Because
would
that
do
is
that.
going to be the difficult thing, is like this person is not only going to have like good expression as a young person, which is hard for kid actors sometimes, but then also on top of that, be blind.
Right.
It's like another
And that it's
thing that,
harder for. I feel like there's not a lot of blind actors and actresses.
yeah, it would be
Right.
harder to find someone.
Right. Which is interesting to think about.
Mm-hmm. But
Because,
it's not
like,
like she's blind in the sense where she bumps into things, though.
right, because she's so well with seeing vibrations and feeling vibrations that
She just,
she just does whatever she wants.
yeah.
So I'm just thinking of like from the live action, um, The Last of Us, how the kid, um, Sam, like how
Mm-hmm.
like they made the change where Sam in the video game was just a regular kid, but in the live action they made him a deaf kid,
Mm-hmm.
and they cast a deaf kid actor to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that was really smart and really good to do. So
That was really good.
that was really good that they did that. And so it's like, can you find a 10-year-old blind Asian girl that can act? Like such a small like demographic of
Window.
people. So I don't know if they would do that. They'll probably just
If
get
they can
seeing.
find someone that can act good and do that, I feel like it's not gonna hurt the character, but also like you don't really need it either.
Right.
So yeah,
Yeah. So there's definitely a lot to look forward to in season 2, but it's gonna be probably 2 years or something. Like with Stranger Things, it's always like 2 or 3 years between seasons. So like,
yeah.
um, it could be
Hopefully
a
they're
while.
already working on it,
I'm
but we
guessing
haven't
that
really heard
sometime
anything.
this year they'll start, working on it towards the end of the year, right, the beginning of next year.
Yeah.
Because I know they just started The Last of Us season 2, like filming. I think
Oh, did they?
they just started like in February, and they plan on filming through like August. Like so it's literally a year after the first season premiered is when they started production of the second season. So
That show was so good.
right, that's how you do an adaptation of something else, like
Facts.
from like they did that perfectly. So That's just
And we have
that's
a YouTube exclusive of that too.
yeah.
So
If you like The Last of Us video game and the show, we did a YouTube exclusive review of that about a year ago. So
mhm.
go check that out as well.
Yeah,
But
overall, I enjoyed it enough where
how many cups of jasmine tea out of 10 would you rate this show?
7.5.
7.5. I'm about that same too.
Like it's not under 50%, but it didn't blow me away or
I
anything.
think I think if it wasn't the fact that they did so well in the last 4 episodes, like if they
Facts.
had the same level as the first four, I would have probably gave it like a 5 or 6. But it had a
Yeah,
strong ending, so I'm gonna give it a 7.5, maybe an 8 if I go back and rewatch it and like I kind of see what they're doing with their changes a little bit more. But that episodes 3 and 4,
they're rough.
it was rough for me. But
And I didn't even remember that much stuff. I was just like, last time we talked, I was just about to, like, I was like, was going to watch season 4. And I was like, bro. And I turned it on last night. I finished season 4 and then I went to episode 5 and I fell asleep. And I was like, shoot. And then so like this morning I was like watching it in the car. Like I was trying to watch all
what?
this.
You're in the
Yeah.
car watching it.
Yeah. Well, because I we're using my brother-in-law's Tesla. So I was charging the Tesla and watching it
Oh,
on the big screen.
oh
So it
gosh.
wasn't like I was watching it on my phone or anything. But yeah. And then I was like, oh, this is actually getting really good. And I finished the last 2 episodes like right before we recorded. And I was like, I enjoyed it. Overall, like it didn't ruin it, and it's definitely one of the better live action portrayals of a show. There's always going to be criticism when it comes to
Right.
this stuff. Like if they did a live action show of Clone Wars, we'd probably be in the same spot. We'd be like,
Dude.
ah,
And the one time they did it, it was in a Ahsoka show, and it was the best thing ever because Dave Filoni did it, and it was the most
true.
amazing episode
But
ever
dude,
of Star Wars.
imagine if they did that. A live action. As long as they cut out the droid arcs, I'd be okay with it. But yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. If you guys enjoyed this and you're new here, like we said before, there's a lot of Star Wars content. We have a podcast episode come out every week.
Yep.
And
We just recorded episode 244, and
yeah.
so yeah, over 200 episodes to go through, and we got reaction videos
Mhm.
and other stuff, fun stuff, and then so like right now it's the Bad Batch animated show that we're going through. We're in the middle of that, so we'll be doing that for a while, and then come May we'll have some other stuff, and then rumors are the next live action Star Wars show Acolyte is coming out in June, so um, stay tuned for that as well. If you are into Star Wars, we'd love
Yep.
to have you join the community. And the best way for you to join the community is to click the link in the description. There's a links.co/Empire Radio, link spelled with 2 I's. Click that. It's a landing page for everything Empire Radio. So follow us on Instagram, Facebook. You're already listening to us watching us on YouTube right now. So hit that subscribe button. Follow us on Twitch because we live stream every podcast episode on Twitch. And you can join us in the chat and talk to us while we're recording episodes. And if you're good at fact checking, you can fact check us and we'll see it in the comments and we'll correct ourselves live on air if you correct us.
Yep.
So do
And
that.
always give out shout outs too.
Yep.
So
And so we also have a great Discord, a lot of fun over there. So if you are on Discord, join the Discord, hang out with that. And there's a lot of Star Wars stuff on there if you like Star Wars. What else? We have a fan email,
voicemails.
voicemails. So one of our things that we like doing is playing fan voicemails, and we've done it every episode, or I should say not every episode, every week, because sometimes when we do like 3-4 episodes from like Star Wars Celebration or something, we don't do voicemails every episode, but every week we have voicemails. We've had that streak alive for 3 years now, ever since we had our first one about 3 years ago. So leave us a voicemail. We'd love to hear from you. And
Like we said, we're doing Bad Batch right now. But if you want to send a voicemail about your thoughts on Avatar, we'll still play it next week on Tuesday
Yep.
or
As long
Wednesday.
as your voicemail is family friendly,
Yep.
we'll definitely play it on air and we'll answer any questions you have.
Mhm.
What else is there? Oh, you're also part of needlesslynerdy.com, which is an entertainment network that we're part of. So if you like nerdy content, apart from Avatar and Star Wars, there's other stuff there too. If you want to go check out other podcasts and articles and stuff, go check them out. I think that's everything.
I think that's it. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm definitely gonna watch season 2, and I'll watch the animation this time before season 2 comes out.
Which you have
Uh,
2 years to do,
yeah,
probably.
I got a little bit,
A
so
little
that's
bit of
why I'm not
time.
stretching. I still probably do a last minute, but that's just how
Yep.
my time is. But yeah, I'm excited. And like we said, if you guys like these YouTube exclusive stuff, you want us to do other things besides Star Wars, leave a comment down below as well. And also give us your thoughts down below too. If you don't want to send a voicemail and you guys want to talk about your opinion on this and you just found us, just comment down below. Let us know. Most likely we'll respond. And make sure you give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you're new. We really appreciate it over here on YouTube. So,
Yeah, definitely.
but
Anything
yeah,
else, Drew?
no, that's all I have.
All right, cool. Well, you've been listening to another Avatar-tastic episode of Empire Radio. I'm Jeremiah,
I'm Drew.
and may the Force be with you.
Always.